There's a lot of hype around self-driving cars, but that term is actually a misnomer. Did you know that right now there aren't any fully autonomous self-driving cars? At best, what we have at the moment is partially automated driver assist system. Those are two different things, but still, it begs the question, what happens when self-driving cars crash? Today we're looking at how autonomous driving works and the legal consequences of automation. We'll also see why Mercedes is stepping up to take responsibility of its level 3 self-driving cars. And stick around to the end to see how hackers are hacking into autonomous cars. When it comes to autonomous technologies, there are actually several levels, but for simplicity's sake, we can sort self-driving technology into two main categories: driver assistance versus fully autonomous systems. Driver support technology reduces the driver's workload. It assists you with features like intelligent or adaptive cruise control, hands-free capability, and lane keeping assist. On the other hand, a fully autonomous vehicle is basically one that can fully operate without human interventions. Don't get me wrong, a self-driving car doesn't mean you can take your eyes off the road or just blindly trust your car to take you anywhere safely. Even Tesla advertised its automation systems are intended for use with a fully attentive driver who has his or her hands on the wheel and is prepared to take over at any moment. On the other hand, if you use low-speed applications like self-parking features, some luxury brands offer a self-parking remote, which means you don't have to even be in the car at those times. Even trucks and semi-truck can be autonomous. Back in June, Pepsi told CNBC that the Tesla semi-trucks it received don't have autonomous features activated yet. But Pepsi did say that the trucks had the necessary self-driving hardware capability, and in the future it may go down that road as an additional capability. But let's talk about how autonomous driving works. And to understand this, we have to look at the 6 different levels of autonomous driving. A level 0 autonomous system means that the car only reacts to the driver's input. It may use sensors like a blind spot alert system or a lane departure warning to warn you of surrounding traffic. But at level 0, the system doesn't have any self-driving capability to correct any problems it detects. A level 1 system means your car can intervene slightly for safety-related issues as you drive. An example is a lane-keeping system that helps you to center in the lane. With level 2, different features in the system communicate with each other. Think things like adaptive cruise control, which adjusts your speed while also centering the car in its lane. Today, most self-driving systems that are currently on sale in the US are level 2 or lower. Now, once you hit level 3, the car self-drives under limited conditions. The driver doesn't need to drive, but the driver must still remain ready to take over if he or she needs to. Think of the driver as a human supervisor. With level 4, the car can drive itself in a fixed loop of known roads. The driver technically doesn't have to take over driving. Right now, level 4 driverless rideshare vehicles exist, but they're not yet approved for general use in any U.S. state. Then there's level 5. This is the final and highest level of autonomy, because the car can drive itself under any conditions on any road. In other words, there's no need for a driver at all. That's why inside a level 5 vehicle, there's no need for a steering wheel or even pedals. But for now, this level of autonomy exists only in theory. A car's autonomous driving capability is also largely dependent on the road it's driving on. Right now, there aren't many places where self-driving cars can actually drive. Companies like Google only test out their fleets in big major cities. But think of roads that are unreliably marked right now. Or think of the miles of unlit, unpaved roads that we have in rural America. On roads like that, autonomous driving is a no-go, at least for now. Some roads are so complicated to map that companies haven't even tried to develop the necessary 3D maps that autonomous cars need to navigate on them. Another important factor that impacts autonomous driving is situational awareness. Basically, this is the ability to observe, understand, and anticipate circumstances, and that's dependent on available data. The system needs to be able to identify potential hazards like road conditions and weather, but it also needs to be able to detect and identify objects, whether it's pedestrian, bicyclist, another car, building, tree, signpost, wildlife, or another object. For example, there was an incident when a truck full of traffic signs drove past a self-driving car that was in testing, and the self-driving car had no idea what it was supposed to do. Situational awareness also means the system needs to anticipate the actions of other drivers on the road. But on top of that, it needs to be able to make quick decisions. Consider, too, the importance of vehicle-to-vehicle communication. V2V is what makes it possible for vehicles to wirelessly exchange information about their speed, location, and the direction they're headed in. Just think of how an Apple AirTag wirelessly exchanges information to your phone about your luggage, for example. It's similar to that. With V2V technology, you can broadcast and receive omnidirectional messages up to 10 times per second. It's these messages that give the vehicle a 360-degree awareness of other vehicles in proximity. This helps autonomous vehicles to avoid avoid potential crashes. When the system detects a potential crash threat, it will either send a visual, tactile, or audible alert to warn you. Right now, the range of V2V communication technology is around 984 feet. Not too long ago, Mercedes-Benz announced that it was the first automaker to receive government approval here in the U.S. for a Level 3 driving feature. This was for its driver pilot feature, where the car does all the driving, while the driver only needs to be ready to take over control if necessary. You can think of Mercedes-Benz's Drive Pilot like a hands-free highway driving system, kind of like you see with Ford's Blue Cruise, GM Super Cruise, and Tesla's Autopilot. The catch is that, as the driver, you need to keep your face visible to the vehicle's in-car cameras at all times. Now, if you need to turn your head, talk, or play a game in the vehicle's infotainment system, the system allows. What you can't do is take a nap in the back. The system also relies on data from a LiDAR sensor to construct a 3D model of the environment around it, and it uses a microphone to detect any approach emergency vehicles. For now, Mercedes says that its Drive Pilot will only operate at speeds up to 40 miles an hour on certain suitable freeway sections where there is heavy stop-and-go traffic. So there's a qualifier there. But mind you, that doesn't mean the system doesn't come without risks. Actually, it's the opposite. Most autonomous vehicle operators like Waymo and Cruise have said that they think Level 3 is too dangerous, so prefer Level 4 technology instead. The reason is, even though a Level 3 system may be autonomous, the driver still needs to pay attention and be ready. But in reality, when a driver is disconnected from driving for a longer period of time, it's very likely for the driver to overreact if he or she suddenly needs to take control of the vehicle in an emergency situation. Just picture yourself relaxed and laid back in your self-driving vehicle while your brain's gonna go to partial driving mode. That's how our brains work. So now, all of a sudden, you get a vehicle alert and you need to react. Imagine the knee-jerk reaction. The stress of the situation may cause you to brake too hard, overcorrect steering, or simply be unable to respond properly if you weren't fully paying attention on the road, but was only partially paying attention. Bottom line, if you don't react correctly, not only is that dangerous, but it could also be fatal. Now, Mercedes isn't the only car maker that's pursuing a Level 3 driving system. Ford also announced that it'll internally develop Level 2 and Level 3 technology. Audi, BMW, and Volvo have also said they're working on their own Level 3 driving systems. There are some advantages to autonomous vehicles. First of all, analysts estimate that autonomous vehicles may lead to 30% less cars on the road. If that proves true, we're looking at a major reduction in traffic congestion and urban CO2 emissions by 80%, as well as improvement in city walkability and livability. It also means more space in community parking lots. In terms of vehicles, fuel, and infrastructure, it's estimated that autonomous vehicles can reduce these costs by 40%. If an autonomous system can perfectly control a vehicle, it would take away the risk of human error and therefore reduce car accidents, injuries, and fatalities. Don't get me wrong, autonomous driving has major disadvantages too. First of all, the idea works only if the system is perfect or near perfect. For imperfect people to create even a near perfect system is a huge feat. Another major concern is hacking. Not many people consider that, but when you stop to think about it, with any computer-based system, it's not impossible for hackers to tamper with it. Just imagine you get behind the wheel of your self-driving vehicle. You're driving your kid to school and all of a sudden somebody takes control of your car and everyone inside it. This might sound like a nightmare or the next Hollywood blockbuster movie, but actually, some experts will tell you that it is possible. It can work in a number of ways. Even if a bad guy is technically challenged, one manual way to control the system is to purposely repaint the road to misguide the navigation system. Or you could put stickers on stop signals to prevent a self-driving car system from recognizing it correctly. And that small act can be critical because if your autonomous vehicle misses a stop sign or turn on the road, well, you get the point. Or if a bad guy is more technically inclined, he could gain control of an autonomous vehicle remotely through the internet or Bluetooth. He could even plant a specialist device in the vehicle or insert a backdoor in the system through a supply chain provider or somehow tweak the car's sensors that feed data into the car. Now, if you think these are hypothetical scenarios, that sounds like science fiction, think again. Cars have already been hacked, and it didn't happen that long ago either. In 2019, there was an attack on a Tesla Model 3. It was done by people who call themselves white hat hackers. A white hat hacker is someone who claims to hack something in an ethical way to show vulnerabilities in a software and hardware system. Two hackers involved in this incident only needed minutes to hack into the Model 3 Tesla. But it's not only Tesla that's vulnerable. Security researchers found vulnerabilities in the General Motors OnStar system that could allow a hacker to completely take control of the vehicle. In 2016, the BBC found that the alarm on the Mitsubishi's Outlander hybrid car could be turned off via security bugs in the onboard Wi-Fi, so a thief could easily disable the vehicle and break in. In 2014, a report was made that showed various security issues in BMW's connected drive system. Point is, as cars get smarter technology, you can be sure we'll hear newer incidences to come. Here's another concern many people don't think about. At some point in the future, we'll lose our driving knowledge and experience as we rely more and more on self-driving technologies. You can imagine autonomous driving brings a slew of legal nightmares. The driver in a self-driving car gets in a car accident. For what portion do you blame the driver versus the self-driving technology? At some point, we'll need to draw the line on safety and liability issues before self-driving cars become an everyday thing. And don't forget about marketing. It's already hard to figure out how autonomous a vehicle is based on its marketing. Just think of Tesla's full self-driving capability. That's what it's called, yet it isn't fully autonomous at all. Marketing just makes things blurry. But now you tell me, what do you think about autonomous cars? Do you trust them or do you find them unsettling? Please share by commenting below. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for your support.